Okay, and that template would look something like this. So first of all, this is to check that a user is logged in. So if a user is logged in, then we'll show the checkout button. Else, if a user is not logged in, we'll display this message, log in to check out items. So to check out the items, when they click the button, they'll go to this controller here, confirm order.php. So let's copy that and create that controller. So what this page will need to do is take all of those items from the basket and add it to an order. So that controller will look something like this. So first of all, we require includes authorization user. This will make sure that a user is logged in to see this page. You have to be logged in to see this page. Of course, we need to include the orders model, and what we do is say what we're going to do is call this function from the orders model called checkout. So we'll need to create that function in our orders model. Basically, the checkout function will take all of the all of the product IDs from the session, and it needs to then create an order and put that into the database. So let's create that function now. So we're going to call it checkout. Okay. Right, so what it needs to do is we need the session, which we've done at the top of the file there, and what we're going to do is get all of those from the session, all of the product IDs from the session, and add it to a new order. Okay. Okay, so let's copy that. Okay, let's put that in there. So we're going to have to go through this step by step. So first of all, we're going to make the order ID -1. So if we successfully check out, we'll give the order ID back to the person. If we are not successfully ordered, we will give back -1. Okay, so first of all, let's just make sure that the user is logged in. Okay, and let's get the user ID from the session. So this is the number of the person who's logged in. Okay, first thing we need to do is create an order. So if we look at our table, we're going to need to do two things. So first of all, we need to create the order with the date, whether it's paid, and the user ID. After we've done that, then we need to add the list of the products that this person ordered to this table. So first we'll create an order. Let's say it gives us order ID number 7. Then we'll add, like for example, they've ordered products 1, 2, and 3. So we'll have 7, 1, 7, 2, 7, 3. So in other words, those are the 3 products that were ordered on that particular order. So we're going to need to first create an order, and then create the records for each product in that order. So to do that, what we're going to do is first of all create the order by inserting into orders the date, paid, and user ID. There's a SQL function called now, which is quite convenient. That just gives us the current date and time. False, because it's not paid yet. And the user ID we need to give as a parameter for whichever user is logged in. So if that was successful, now we can move on to creating the rows in this table. So if that was successful, what we should do is, first of all, we need the order ID from that last record that we inserted. So there's a very convenient PHP function called MySQL insert ID. And that gives us the ID of the last record that it inserted in that connection. So let's say it was order number 7. So then we're going to have a loop here. So for each product ID that's in the basket, we're going to insert that into orders products. So 7 product ID number 1, 7 product ID number 2, 7 product ID number 3. And it will have those 2 values we need to give to it each time. So we just bind the parameters order ID and basket item, and of course we will then also need to reduce the quantity of that product because we've ordered one of those products. Now that quantity will decrease. So actually there's another query we have to do where we have to update this table for that particular product and reduce that. Maybe there were 5 laptops, now we need to reduce it to 4 laptops. So we'll do that over here. We update product, set the quantity equal to quantity minus 1, it reduces it by 1, where the product ID is that particular product. Okay, so we will do that for each product in that order. We add it to that list of orders, products in that order, and we change the quantity of that product to be decreased by 1. So if all of this was successful, then we can unset that basket array in the session, and basically it will empty the basket. Okay, so let's go back to this page. So this is the confirmed order controller. So what we'll do is call that checkout, and it'll give us the order ID of that current order. If the order ID is less than 0, it means that it wasn't successfully placed. So we just redirect back to viewBasket.php. If it was successful, then we can include the confirmed order page. So let's create that now. Okay, so it's a fairly basic page, and we just need to have this template, confirmed order template. So let's create that template. Okay. So this template's going to include a bunch of other templates. So a user greeting template, which will display a nice message to the user, the details of the delivery for this order, the order products template, so which products were on the order, and the total. So how much money should you pay for this order? So I've split that out into 4 separate templates. So let's start off with the user greeting template. Let's create that. So this is a basic template which just gets the from the users model the details of the currently logged in user and displays that there. Okay, so dear so and so, that's it. It's just a message with the title, Mr., Mrs., Mrs., their first name and their surname. So we don't actually have this yet in that model, so let's create it. Get logged in user. So that will be in users. Let's create that here. Well, let's just check get logged in user. Maybe we do have it. Oh, we do have it here. Okay, so that's just the details of the currently logged in user. Okay, so we can close it. We do have that available to us. Right, the next one we need to do is the user's delivery details template. So this is their address, everything else. Okay, so let's create that template. Okay. So all this is going to do is, again, it's going to use its same function, get logged in user. It'll just display their address details: street, house number, apartment number, city, postcode, region, country, etc. Okay, now let's create the order products template. So this will show which products are in the order. Right, so first of all, we need to know what was the last thing that this person ordered. So we just have a function here called get logged in user's last order ID. So what was the order ID of the last order that they made? So we need to create this function in our orders model. Just double check that we don't have it yet. No, I don't think so. Okay, so we need to create this function, get logged in user last order ID. Okay, right. Set orders. Okay. So what we do is, first of all, assume that the order ID is -1. That's a non-existent order ID. And if we do find an order, then we will add that to it. So first of all, we check that there is a user logged in, so make sure that we have a user ID in the session. Then what we'll do is we're going to select the order ID from orders, where user ID is equal to whatever that person's order ID is, and we'll order it by order ID descending. That means that the latest order will be on top. Okay, and then we'll return that order ID. So that is there. Get orders products. We need to check that exists. So get orders products. Okay, we don't have that. So what we need to do is get a list of the products for that particular order. Okay, get orders products. So let's create that function now. Okay, get orders products. So what it will do is it will receive an order ID, okay, and needs to get all of the products in that order. Okay, now this is going to be quite a big join, because we need to get things from orders products, as well as the products. So we'll see that here we need to get all the products in that order. We need to actually join these three tables. We need orders joined to orders, products joined to products. Okay, and let me see, do we include the categories or not? We don't, thank goodness. Okay, so we only have those three. So when we join the tables, let's see how we join them. So we've got orders, inner join orders products. There's those two there. So we need to use order ID as the primary key there and the foreign key there. So we've got on orders.orderID equal to orders products.orderID. So that has joined, this has joined these two tables. Then we can consider this to be, those two joined tables, as if it's a table. We can join that to the products table. So what we're going to join to the products table is we use product ID as a foreign key here and a primary key here. So we've inner join products on orders products.product ID equal to products.product ID. Right. Now, because the product ID can exist in several tables, I can't just select product ID. I need to be very specific and say products.product ID. So I'm going to select products.product ID, products.product, that's the name of the product, count, that's a SQL function which will count how many products are, how many rows have that product ID as quantity. That means you give it a new field name called quantity. The sum of all the prices of those gives us the total price. And we only want this for this order. So we'll say where orders.order ID is equal to the number for this particular order. And we have group by product ID. Right, so this is a quite complex SQL function, but basically what it's doing is joining those three tables, and instead of showing if the person's ordered two of the same products, it will join those together. It will group those together so they show as one row rather than as two separate rows. Right, so that's our orders there. So let's look at that, our order products template here. So that gives us the order products template. So we can then use that to display this in a table. We're going to show the product, the quantity, price, and total price for that product. Okay, so the next one we need to do is the orders total template.php. This is the totals for the order, how much tax you should pay, etc. Okay, so let's get this here. So this is the orders totals. Okay, so first of all we need the order ID for the last order that the person made, which we have that already. Then we need to use this function here, get orders total from the orders model, which we haven't created yet. So what we're going to display is the before tax price, the after tax price, and the total price for the entire order. So that will come from this function in the orders model. So let's create that function. Okay, so what we have here is this function will receive the order ID because we need to know which order we're dealing with. And it's the same join that we had before, and this time we're basically doing a whole lot of calculations to work out the before tax price, the amount of tax, and the sum of all the products' prices as total price, where the orders.order ID is equal to question mark for that particular order. So we will have the before tax price, tax, and the total price, which we will then display in this, not as a table, in 3 separate paragraphs here. So let's save all of this that we've got so far and test it out and debug it. Okay. Okay. See, that's all uploaded. Right, so we're at home. We've got various products we can order, and we can check our basket. And it tells us to log in to check out the items. Okay. So two things I haven't done yet is I haven't written the controller to remove an item from the basket or to add an extra one of these in. We can do that afterwards. So let's just log in as an ordinary user, which we have. So we have the products page available to us and the basket page available to us, except this time we can see the checkout items button. So let's try to check this out and see if we're successful. So we have an error. Let's go and debug this. It says it's in the orders model on line 168. Okay. Orders model line 168. Over here. Okay, it says that it had unexpected reaching a variable here, and the reason for that is on the previous line here we forgot to close off that statement. Okay, so let's go back to this page and try and check out again. Okay, we have another error to debug on line 217, unexpected end of file. 217. So I didn't expect to reach the end of the file here. So probably what that means is there's something wrong with my brackets somewhere further up. And it would probably be from some of these. So that function is open and closed. That one's open and closed. Open and closed, that seems fine. So if you see how for the checkout function, I open brackets there, but I didn't close them here. So it's open and closed properly. So that should fix that. Let's save that. Okay, so let's try that again. Checkout items. There you go. So this is from the first, the greeting template. Dear Mr. J. Doe, thank you for your order. This is from the delivery details template. This is from the products template, which shows the different products in the order, how many you've ordered, the price, and the total price. And then this is from the last template, which was working out the before tax amount, and total price. Okay. Future could clean this up so it only shows 2 decimal places, or in the case of Tenga, no decimal places. Okay, so that seems to be working. If we look at our products, at our baskets page, you'll now see that there's nothing in the basket. It's removed all of those things in the basket because the order was successful. So let's see, if we order a product such as this one, we can add it to the basket, so it's successful. We look at our basket, it's here. Now if you wanted to, for example, remove this item from the basket or add an extra one of these to the basket, we need to add the code for this. Okay, so we have 2 buttons here. Okay, and let's go and look at the code for that. So this is in the template for the view basket items. So if we get a bit lost and we're not sure where exactly to find this, let's just start at the beginning and go to the controller, viewBasket.php. So let's go to the controller, viewBasket.php. Okay, so it's the view basket page which is being included, so we can go to that. View basket page. And then we can check out, okay, the template was called basket table template. We can open up that there. So these 2 buttons we need to do. So we've got button on click equal to remove basket function and on click equal to add basket function. And it gives those 2 gives those functions a product ID. So these are JavaScript functions. Okay. So when you click the button, the JavaScript will run in the browser and call those two functions. So if we look at our JavaScript file, we'll need to add those two functions. So we need to have one where we can remove the item from the basket or add to basket. Luckily, we also already have the add to basket function, so we don't need to do that. We'll just add an extra one of these. But what we will need to do is have a remove from basket function. Okay, so it's not too different. Okay, it will look like this. So it will, using this URL, this controller, remove from basket.php, it will give it the product ID as a get variable for that. And then if it was successfully removed, it will remove it and then reload the page. Otherwise, it will alert not removed from basket. Okay, so let's go ahead and create that controller, remove from basket.php. Okay, so what it will do is this one's a bit more tricky because it needs to search that array in the session, and if it finds the product ID, it needs to remove it. So we're going to use a PHP function here called array search. So using that product ID from the get variable, and we're going to search for that in the array of products in the basket. If it finds it, if this array search function finds this product ID in that array in the session, then it will store it into found index. So if found index is not equal to false, it means we have a number. It might be, say, we found it at position 2 or 3 or whatever. Then we'll remove the product. So we'll unset in the basket array in the session the found index. Let's say it was 2 or 3. And then we will re-index the array. In other words, shift everything over so that we don't have an empty place in the array. And we'll return true if we're successful or false if it failed. So let's save that, and let's test out if that works. So I should be able to add an extra one of these to the basket, and you'll see it refreshes the page. You can see I've now got 2 of these in my basket. I can also remove one of them from the basket and refreshes the page and shows that I now only have 1, or in fact remove this one as well. You can see, and I've now got nothing in my basket at all. So we can add that to our basket. In our basket, we can check out items, and it gives us all the details. We can go back here to products and home.